coming up on our right-hand side, just at the top of that hill, maybe able to spot the largest of all of our forest antelope we have out here today. They are, of course, our greater kudu. Greater kudu can stand at around 5 feet tall. And in case you wonder if those are boys or girls up there, all you have to do is look at the horns. You may notice that they don't have any, which means that they are all girls. Take a look at the left-hand side of the truck. You can spot one of our larger friends out here on the reserve, one of our black rhinos. Black rhinos are the smaller of the two rhino species, the other one being the white rhino, usually weighing in at around 3,000 to 4,000 pounds each. And in case you're looking for the best way to differentiate between a white and a black rhino, it has absolutely nothing to do with their color, I can assure you. Instead, what we're going to want to be looking for is their lip shape. Black rhinos have a pointed lip, while white rhinos have a much wider lip. So we got one of our lovely greater kudu over there on our right-hand side. But as we come around this bend, I advise you all to keep an eye on this lovely valley we see to our left. As it looks like we've got a few of our more romantic couples out here on the reserve. There are, of course, our saddleboat storks. Saddleboat storks are a romantic bird who will fall in love and mate for life at an early age. Around the same time, they will build a nest together and then will fiercely guard this nest with their lives. They are very territorial birds, especially to other saddleboat storks. It's normally why you only ever spot two of them in one place at one time. Right now, we are going to be entering the Safi River region of our reserve. And as the name suggests, this area is going to be home to many of our more aquatic creatures out here. So as you come around this bend, I advise you all to keep an eye on that water line, as you never know what might be lurking down there. Down there are a few more of our gentle giants themselves, the Nile hippopotamuses. Nile hippopotamuses, as an adult, can grow upwards of around 5,500 pounds, and even their kids are extremely large, usually weighing in at around 85 pounds at birth. Coming up on our left-hand side is another friendly pod of hippos over there. And normally, you can find our hippos doing exactly that. Just lounging about out in the water, trying to find ways to beat the heat. They can spend up to around 8 minutes at a time without taking a breath, and will spend the majority of their lives underwater. Also visible at the left-hand side of the truck right now are a few of our pink-backed pelicans. Now I know you may be thinking, those pelicans don't look very pink. Well, that's primarily because pink-backed pelicans normally only become their pink color right around the time around their mating season, which doesn't come around for another few months.
It starts at 12:30, but that's a little IQ starts at 12.
Folks, at this time, I would like to remind everyone to remain safe with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, as we are going to be crossing into the territory of one of our more famous predators out here. If you take a look at the left-hand side of the truck, you can spot the largest reptile in Africa, the Nile crocodile.
Oh, look at it.
Now, crocodiles grow to up to around 15 to 16 feet long, and are famous for those distinctively huge jaws. Those massive jaws enable them to crush the bones of any animal out here on the reserve today. And though popular media does like to associate them with being the primary predators by stuff like wildebeest, antelope, and zebra, they much prefer to munch down on stuff like small mammals and fish, which more easily fits inside their large mouths. Right now we are going to be entering the Savannah region of our reserve, home to many of our largest, most iconic creatures out here. As we come down around this overlook, I advise you all to get your cameras ready, as the Savannah landscape is quite beautiful, especially this time of day. In case landscape photos aren't really your thing, I'd so advise you to keep an eye out, as this is a great chance to grab a sneak preview of some of those large and iconic creatures I just mentioned. From here, I'm able to spot at least 3 different species, but let's head down there and see how many more we can find, shall we?
I'll send it to you. I know, let's get a picture.
Yes, that's right. Looks like we've got a small family of giraffes coming up on our right-hand side. Giraffes are, of course, the tallest animal on the planet, standing at around 20 feet tall as an adult. They get the majority of that impressive height from those famously long necks, but they get a great deal of it also from those long legs. Those long legs also act as their primary defensive tool against predators, and whenever a Maasai giraffe is threatened by a large predator such as a cheetah or a lion, they like to give them one swift kick, which is normally enough to scare them off for good. Coming up around this bend, just over this hedge, looks like we got a family of African painted dogs resting in that small cave back there, as well as over in the shade on the far left-hand side. I know what you may be thinking, man, those dogs sure are cute. But they are in fact the finest predators in the entire African savanna, having higher success rates than even the cheetah or the lion. They have excellent communication skills and team tactics, which allow them to track their prey for miles and miles around until they simply drop down from exhaustion, allowing the African painted dogs to go in for an easy attack.
They're all sleeping, it's too hot.
Over there on our left-hand side, we've got a few of our Hartman's Mountain Zebra, famous of course for those distinctive stripy coats. But if you look a little ways behind them, you may be able to spot a few of our Sable Antelope. And in case you missed that big sign at the front of our lovely reserve, they are of course the mascots of the world-famous Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And for good reason. Unlike most other antelope species, the sable antelope much prefer to fight instead of flee when faced by a predator. Just like the sable antelope, we are fighting for many of these animals' lives out here, which is why we've selected them as our mascot. Many of them are critically endangered, most commonly from poaching or habitat loss. And we do believe we are doing a good job at helping to protect some of our lovely creatures out here. It isn't this way on other reserves, and especially out in the wild, where conditions are harder to control. As we get up close and personal with some of these lovely Maasai giraffe coming up on our left and right hand sides, I'd like to ask you all to keep an eye on those wonderful spot patterns, as they're what I've been using to identify them as Maasai giraffe. Maasai giraffe have a bit more of a rough around the edges spot pattern, while their cousins, the reticulated giraffe, have a bit more of a clear cut pattern. It's also rumored that the Maasai giraffe is slightly taller than their reticulated giraffe cousins, so good for them. I apologize for the delay, folks, but we did have a giraffe crossing the road ahead of us. Here in the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, our animals are our top priority, and we like to give them as much room as possible. So if they cross the road ahead of us, we need to stop for them. We will never move our animals out of the road unless absolutely necessary. This does mean that we usually do have to wait a few minutes for our lovely animals to move out of the way on their own. But the good thing about all of that is that usually means our animals are hanging out real close to the roads, which means fantastic photos for all of you. Aren't our Maasai giraffe just beautiful? I heard someone mention cows a little while back, but those are in fact not cows. Those are Ankoi cattle, those ones with the massive horns, right ahead of us, and it looks like there's a few more hanging out in the trees to our right-hand side, just around this bend. Ankoi cattle are seen as signs of great wealth among many farmers in Central Africa, so they like to keep as many of them around as possible by raising them for their milk instead of their meat. Those massive horns aren't just for show either, as they also help to regulate blood flow throughout the Ankoi cattle's entire body, helping keep them cool in the hot African sun. Coming up on our left-hand side is a small family of wildebeests. And while you may consider that to be a decent-sized herd right now, it does not compare anywhere close to the international standard. Wildebeest herds in the wild can grow up to around 1.5 million individuals in a single herd, and they have been known to travel between 500 and 1,000 miles every year in search of the best food and water. As you might expect, these massive herds do tend to kick up a lot of dust, and these massive dust clouds are even rumored to be able to be seen from space. Coming up on our left-hand side is the only monkey species we have out here on the reserve today. They are, of course, our lovely family of mandrills. Mandrills are famous for that red and blue coloring they love to sport on their faces, And though both the males and females do have that distinctive coloring, it is the males that have a much more well-defined pattern.